what will be the final part of rebuilding Portsmouth. This is kind of like I would say a retrospective, but what it actually is a sort of look to the future and a kind of summation of everything that we've had in the series. Now, firstly, question of the day, like I put this on the end of the last video, but then not everybody watches to the very end, so I decided I'd shove it on the end of this one as well. You know, what is your favourite moment from the series, as well as, you know, favourite players, things like that. You know, I just want to do some reminiscing and a little bit of nostalgia from the early days, the Miles Story days, the John Marcus days, you know what I'm talking about. The Kieran Griffiths era, you know, people like that completely dominated our team but then slowly faded away into the distance. Those kind of players, guys. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Now, of course, we're going to get into some other stuff in today's episode. We're going to be going quite a little while into the future, but also showing you some of the stuff from the present. Also, guys, if you like this series, do drop a like on this final episode. And yeah, because I've really enjoyed doing this. I genuinely have. It's been fantastic. It's probably my favourite save on FM of all time, but I'm hoping we can better that soon. And that brings me to my next point. And basically, a lot of people have obviously asked me lately, you know, what are you going to do when you've done this? What's the new series going to be? And basically, I have spoken about this before, but often it's in the comments rather than in the video, so I guess not everyone reads the comments, especially not a day after I've actually put the video out, which makes sense perfectly. The only people that would have seen those probably are people that watch the videos a little bit later on, and you know what I mean. So basically, because my aim when I got the new computer was always to do an unemployment save, but have every single league in Europe turned on, basically, and start with the lowest possible coaching badges and like experience, basically, so that we'd only get terrible jobs. Like I tried this on FM14 and I could not get a job in England at all, so that will be interesting, and I wouldn't want to start with anyway. I'd like to do something different. Basically, I wanted to do something where we could travel. It would be a type of journeyman thing, but not completely. I wouldn't be like swapping clubs every year, because you wouldn't get a chance to build anything cool then. Like we'd have that thing where we have to leave like every sort of 4-5 years potentially. Maybe, I don't know, we'd sum that up in another video, but the idea would be that we just go to some interesting places. Like we could manage in Estonia, we could manage in Latvia, we could manage in, I don't know, Moldova, anywhere random, basically. Not random, obviously, because it would be done on where we feel like, and our achievements, and we'd slowly build our way up from the very bottom. And I really did want to do a proper challenge like that, because frankly, I don't know about you guys, but some of my favourite saves have been those type of saves. Like I did one on last year's FM. The last save I did before I started doing YouTube was I started off with União de Madeira in Portugal. Now we wouldn't be able to start at that level this time around, because I didn't have an extended database, so I had to boost my stats a little bit just to get a job in the first place. And then I ended up in Bulgaria, and then I won the Icelandic League, and it was going a bit further than that, but then I obviously started YouTube. So my point is, I really want us to tell a story, and the manager isn't going to be me. It's going to be sort of what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly pick a European country for the manager to be from, basically, and then I'll generate a random name based on, you know, genealogy of that country, basically. So that would be kind of interesting too. Just that way we've got a bit more of a character as our manager rather than it just being me. That's just my little idea for that. So I'm really looking forward to doing it, because I don't know, it'd just be cool. And we get to learn about some of the cool little clubs in Europe. I say little clubs, some of the cool clubs in sort of less fashionable countries in Europe. And I'm really looking forward to that, because I'm hoping that we can sort of, you know, not that we have much particular clout ourselves, but we could always, you know, just boost those clubs a little bit anyway. So that's going to be fun, just drawing attention to some of the smaller clubs in Europe. It's one of the things I like to do. And I know that sounds a bit hipstery, and I really don't care, because that's the sort of thing I like in football. I love that kind of stuff, and I hope some of you guys do as well. You know, I also want to just quickly explain, I know this start is going to get quite long, but, you know, it's the last episode, so we can kind of do that. The reason why, like, a lot of people suggested saves like Everton or a championship club. The reason why I don't ever want to do those saves is because, firstly, there's no real challenge to it. Yeah, okay, you could argue that the challenge is winning the Champions League, but that's the challenge in all of my saves. My point is that it's not, I don't find them that interesting. Starting with a big club for me just has never appealed to me. Like, apart from big clubs that I've fallen, like for example Red Star, where it's a big club but it's in an unfashionable league, that's different. Like, those are the sort of saves I would do just fine. I just don't like doing saves with big teams, and I think a lot of you are here for that very reason, that you don't particularly enjoy watching those. I don't know. Also, like, a lot of people suggested to do like a Conference South teams. The reason I won't do that again is because it's too similar to the Pompey save, and I don't want to do the same thing again. I might at some point do an LLM save, like with really low team in England, but that won't be just now. I'd rather save that for a bit later on, if we get enough time to actually do that, as maybe like one to replace the Red Star save a bit later, because I have been promising the unemployment save to people for quite some time, and I would really like to get started on it. So that is something that's going to be very, very cool, and we could literally end up anywhere. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sim a year. That way it opens up some jobs for us. We don't always get the same ones at the start. It'll be a little bit more random then. So we'll sim a year through, and then we'll start looking for jobs, and it could be I'm really looking forward to doing it, guys, because we get to discover some amazing players and amazing clubs from all over Europe, and that's going to be the fun part for me. And obviously we get to win stuff too. That's the great thing. I'm really looking forward to doing it. All right, enough about that. Let me just have a quick sip of my drink. We're in for a long one. Well, not for a long one, but I just wanted to make sure my throat didn't go all dry. Right, so, first things first, we need to take a little look at Pompey and the club records, so to speak. So let's just take a little look here. Highest and lowest league positions. Well, okay, we haven't broken that because they've actually, of course, won the league before, so that's a bit of a shame. Let's see. Highest transfer fee received was Ali Burrell, the 41 million signing to Monaco. Most league goals for the club, Peter Harris with 193, which is a lot of league goals, and surely Millington can't be that far behind him now. I wouldn't have thought so. Top league goal scorer, Guy Whittingham with 42. It's such a shame that Millington didn't get one more goal. I really am gutted for him, although to me he should be on here too. Average rating highest, Santos with 8.12 from 51 appearances. Youngest player is actually Tim Prescott on our save, so that's a real one. Oldest player is obviously Dave Besant. Fastest goal, Millington's 14-second one, if you remember, in the Capital One Cup semi-final last season, which was just mental. Most goals in the match, Peter Harris again. Millington, I don't think ever quite got that close. Most assists is Santos. Youngest goal scorer, Clive Green. And oldest goal scorer is Teddy Sheringham, of course. As for sequences, we've broken all the good ones, I think. Most games won in a row, 14, which we did this season, in fact, which is awesome. From between February and April, most games without losing was also this season. We went 29 matches without losing. That is insane. And that was basically between the two Manchester United games. I'm pretty certain of it. Most games lost in a row, of course, was when Pompey were in the Premier League back in 2012. Most games without I think it was 2012. No, maybe not, actually. It might be when they were in the Championship or League One. Most games without winning. Jesus, 23. Most games without scoring, and that was back in 1974. Most games without conceding. This season we did 7 matches without conceding, which is pretty damn impressive. So, with that in mind, as you can see though, Millington was going to take, he's never going to catch that. 764 appearances and most league goals. There's potential for that. I feel like he could maybe catch that. Let's just see what Millington's doing in terms of his league goals. Wow, actually, okay. So he scored 5 for West Brom and 13 for Aberdeen. So take off like 18 from that, and you're still not looking too bad there, basically. That's like, what, 173 league goals he scored? You'd feel that Millington will get 20 goals in the rest of his career. So I think Millington will be the top scorer for Pompey of all time. I don't think he's ever going to beat the top goal scorer in one season thing, just because you find that when you sim the game, the players don't score as many goals when the computer's in charge of the teams, if that makes sense. I've rarely ever seen a player get the sort of stats that Robson and Millington and Messi kind of have at times when you're not actually in control of the teams or control of a team. So obviously, so there we go. And also we're going to take a little look around the other leagues in Europe, because we always seem to do that, and it's always good to do that. We're going to do this now. I won't do this for every single little step into the future that we do, but I will show you what it's like now. And I'll show you, of course, at the end. Right, who are we going to do? We're going to do the usual one. So we're going to do France first. Let's check out the French. I've just clicked on that wrong. Right, Ligue 1. Paris Saint-Germain win the league, and of course Paris Saint-Germain knocked out Chelsea from the Champions League in real life last night, and I didn't actually watch the game, but I did hear that Graham Souness was hitting lots of nails on lots of heads, which doesn't sound unlike Graham Souness, let's face it. So, PSG have dominated this league completely. Angers, Nancy and Sochaux have all gone down just about there. Humam Tariq is still at PSG, 30 years old. God, he looks like a player, doesn't he? Jesus. So there you go. Let's take a quick gander on to Germany and Das Bundesliga. And of course that's the playoff, isn't it? So we'll just get the league table up. Bayern Munich, of course, have won it by 4 points over Werder Bremen, and Schalke with Hamburg in behind. Hoffenheim, Augsburg and Eintracht Frankfurt are all down. Freiburg were close to it, as were Hanover, so interesting. But Bayern have dominated Germany, let's face it. Italy, let's have a little gander. I might go back and do Holland, actually. Juve have won the league again. I mean, I think Juve have won the league every single season in this save, apart from that one year that Atalanta won it, basically. Inter, AC Milan, and Sampdoria just in behind them there. Cittadella are also in there. Ascoli and Cremonense are all relegated with Genoa, who have had some decent seasons, if I remember. They've got some quality players. There was one guy I was looking at from Genoa that my scout kept telling me about, but he was just way too expensive to go and sign. Actually, let's quickly just do Holland while we're here. Let's see. So, Feyenoord. Interesting. That's their first title in quite some time. Ajax and PSV Eindhoven in behind, and then there's Den Haag. Groningen, De Graafschap, and NAC Breda all, well, I don't know if Breda are actually relegated, but they're certainly in the relegation playoffs. Right, let's see who else we've got here. Let's do Portugal, actually. Although I imagine it's the top three is still the same. If it isn't, I'll be very surprised. Benfica, Sporting, and Porto. That being said, Porto have fallen quite hard. And if you look here, Olhanense, who I'm pretty certain were a second-tier team quite often. Yeah, look at this. They've gone up and down, and now they're up into 4th place with Rui Vitória. Now, I remember him from when I was doing a save in Portugal. He actually didn't he used to manage... was it Vitória? No, was it Guimarães that he used to manage? I can't remember. I used to have a lot of fights with him when I was doing a save there. Wow, Varzim as well. They were a 3rd-tier team at the start of this save. That's incredible. They're in the top flight in Portugal now. It's the same that my team in Portugal, União, aren't in there. What division are they in now? They still... have they ever been in the top flight? That's a shame. Well, they have been in the top flight, of course, but there they are. União de Madeira, because we're a affiliate with them, aren't we? So they are still in that same division. In fact, they've been down a couple of times. Oh, União, what are you doing, lads? Love this team. Interestingly, in real life, they're actually sponsored by the Cristiano Ronaldo Football Museum that he set up on the island of Madeira. I didn't realise this until a couple of weeks ago. So that's like an interesting little tidbit there for you. Let's see. Scotland. See if Rangers and Celtic are still dominating, or whether Aberdeen have managed to wrestle the power back. Well, Celtic obviously dominated for a while, but Rangers won it, then Aberdeen won it, and now Rangers have sort of taken over again. Kilmarnock this time are relegated. Alloa are in the top flight. That's nice to see. See how far we go down here. I don't think we can... Yeah, I didn't put that many leagues on. Scotland, let's see. Let's just check Serbia. I don't know if we actually can or not. No, we can't, unfortunately. But we can see who wins it. It's all been Partizan and Red Star, but mostly Partizan, I'd have to say. And since we've been doing this save, no one has broken into the top 2 apart from those 2. So that, I guess, pretty much sums up Serbian football. Liga BBVA, on proper. Barcelona win the league. They only lose 1 game, but they also lost to us, if you remember, in the Champions League final. So that's what really matters, guys. Girona, Levante, and Getafe are all down. Osasuna qualify for the Europa League, despite being 12th in the league. I'm assuming they won a cup. So there we go. Neymar still playing, of course, there. Anyone else? No, that's pretty much it, I'd say, of terms of that. Right, what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to head 5 years into the future to 2031 and see how the players have been doing in that first 5 years, where they've got to. I've got them on a short list. So I'm going to retire. I've resigned my manager. Resigned my manager and simmed into the future 5 years. This has had to be done overnight, so I've seen the first set, what they look like in 5 years, but never after that. So this is all going to be a bit of a big surprise for me as well. So I'll join you guys in a sec once we've got that loaded up. Right, guys, we are back. 5 years down the line. It is now the 17th of May, 2031. As you can see, of course, I am unemployed, which is a weird thing. It felt really horrible having to resign. Of course, I haven't actually. I've made a separate save sort of strand, because I'm going to use another one to create the one that I'm hopefully going to be able to put online for you guys, but I'm going to have to mess around with some managers and add stuff in to make that work. But plus I do want to kind of keep myself employed in it as well, just in case I fancy streaming like a 13th season or something. That'd be quite fun. If you guys do want to see me at some point stream like a 13th season of Portsmouth, then do let me know, because it's something I'd be interested in doing just for a little bit of fun, really, because we know we can win a load of games, and I'd be interested to see if we can win the Champions League again, basically. But it's not something I do as a series, because it's just, we've done that now. We want to move on and do something new, something fresh. Right, so let's jump in. This is the shortlist I made, basically. This is just our entire first team squad. Everyone that was currently listed as a first team player, plus Chris Slade, I put in to a shortlist so that we could track them. So what we're going to do is take a little look through, see where some of the players have got to, and they're sort of... I'm listed in my value here, and obviously we'll look at Portsmouth in the league as well, but we can't go too much into detail for each 5-year spot, because obviously the video will go on a little bit too long if we do that. I will look through some of the leagues again at the end, though, of course. I've actually run this overnight, which means I've actually got up to 2046, which means I did 20 years, which isn't too bad. So I don't know what happens in those. So we'll do the first 20, which means some of these guys could be managers. So that's going to be very interesting to look at. So first things first, Mark Simpson, 24 years old now. Of course, we don't know everything about him, but he is worth £54 million, 34 caps for England and 30 goals. And most importantly, you'll note, still playing for Portsmouth. And he's banging the goals in. Obviously, in the first season he had for us, he only got 3, I think. Yeah. But then he got 10 in 20, then in 20 and 31, he's looking pretty fucking prolific for Pompey over the last few years. And the point is, he stayed at the club. And that is so important to see, that he has actually stayed at the club. Van Os is up there as well, worth £53 million. He looks like an Oh, he looks like quite some player. 43 caps for Holland and 27 goals the lad's got. You might notice you can't see the ages here. That's because for some reason, or is it on personal details? Oh, it is. Why did that change then? He's 26 years old. He's still got a long time left in his career, I'd say. So that's not bad either. Ivancic, of course, is 28 and worth 44 million. Still only has 42 caps for Croatia, though, which is really surprising, considering what an absolute legend this player is. And he's still only 28. I dread to think how many appearances he's made for Pompey already. 387 appearances, although not all of them for Pompey. 360 appearances have been for Portsmouth. That's 360 league appearances for Portsmouth. And I was going to say he's never had a season less than a 7, but he has. God, he's played for Pompey for ages. He's done all right. Look at the amount of assists he's been getting since we've left the club. Just also point out, guys, the guy that took over from us is Antonio Conte. He is now the manager of Portsmouth, taking over the leash from me. I did have a little look at that one before, of course, so I don't need to show you. Well, I'll show you that when we show you the club stats anyway. Here, of course, I'm sure you guys will want to see is 30-year-old Norman Millington, 90 caps for England, 64 goals, and I'm pretty certain that makes him their all-time top English scorer. So yeah, I would make him the Emperor right now, but when I skip to the next 5 years ahead, it will just take it away again because they're all separate saves. So don't worry, the version that I'm going to put up online, he will be changed to Emperor Norman Millington, as you wish. Now look at that, 42 goals in that one season, but then, 20, 25, 24, 29, 20, he's not had... The only season that he's played for us where he didn't get at least 20 goals in the league was his first ever season, and that says a lot. 309 league goals in total, which means, of course, that, the 18 there doesn't really make much difference, which means he's got 291 league goals, which I think makes him the all-time Premier League top scorer. I don't know if there's any way we can actually prove that, because the stats don't seem to appear for that, which is a bit annoying. But I'm pretty certain that makes him the Premier League's all-time top goal scorer as well, which is just phenomenal. And he's only 30 still. He's probably got a couple more seasons left in him. We'll have to see where he is, he'll be 35 when we check him out soon. I hope he goes into management, that'd be awesome. But also, still at Portsmouth, and that gives us some good signs. As for anyone that's left the club, also there's Mamouté here, still at the club, 31 years old, and still looking like an absolute beast. And look at these assist stats. So, 11 assists in the season he came, but then 19, 23, 25, 27 assists in the league. Wow. No wonder Pompey win things, and they must have won stuff since then. Players that have left, though, interestingly, Kyle Nurse has joined Manchester United, which is a bit of a shame, because he looked like he was going to be a real talent for Pompey. Pierre Peters, the young fullback, is at Barcelona now, which is a little bit interesting. Ola Afterlet is at Inter Milan. I think he went for like 33 million pounds he's gone to Milan for, which is a huge amount. Conor Barnes is at Chelsea, which is a bit of a shame as well. But then I suppose it's probably the tactic, maybe. Chris Slade is at Southampton, which is disappointing. Is he on loan, perhaps? He went on a free. That's shocking. What are you doing, Antonio? Tercio is at Fiorentina. Big Oblongo still here. Pipoca is at Monaco. This is a shame. I really don't get this. Look at this. He's gone to Monaco for 26 million, albeit 26 million, but I don't know. I felt that he was potentially... He had the potential to be Millington good, but when you look at him, look at what he's... Monaco aren't even really playing him. It's such a shame. This guy was going to be great. His record for us in that season, 14 and 26 is not bad. That's such a shame to see him fall so far, really, I have to say. Let's see who else. Milton Peralta's at Boca Juniors. Borja Gomez is at AC Milan. Kaya's at Fenerbahce. Lucarelli's gone to Arsenal. 18 million pounds he's gone to Arsenal for, but look at this, he's barely played for them. That's such a shame as well. They seem to be wasting a lot of our players, which is annoying. Musonda's at MacLeod in Belgium. Marcelo is at Torino with his lovely bowl cut. He actually went on loan to Oxford for a bit from Valencia, and now he's at Torino, so that's interesting. Sorry guys if you can hear, I've got the window open, it's incredibly hot in here. Jefferson Rios is at Barnsley, and Andy McLaughlin is at Hamilton Accies. So let's take a little look at Portsmouth, where they've been in the last 5 years. Well, Antonio Conte's still their manager. They've got their new stadium, the Jimmy Dickinson Stadium, 47,500 capacity. I'm surprised it isn't the Norman Millington Stadium, to be honest, but I suppose that was probably decided earlier. I'm also a little bit disappointed it wasn't the second yellow card stadium, but what can you do, guys? What can you do? 31 assists for Mamouté this season in all competitions. That is insane. I don't want to go too into detail, but there you go. I mean, let's take a look at the where have they finished since we left. So we won the league that season. First. Fuck me. That is insane. Pompey have won every single title They've won 6 consecutive Premier League titles. We've built a team that Conte can pretty much put anyone out of it. You'll notice that Nottingham Forest, their Champions League spot, but the points seem to have fallen massively low, so that's a bit of a shame. But hey, if Conte carries on like this, he's probably going to be a club legend compared to me, frankly, because what can I do? Let's just quickly take a look and see if there are any sort of club legends. I don't know how to do this. Here we go. Jimmy Dickinson, Linvoy Primus, Jed Wallace, Norman Millington, Mamute, and myself. So Mamute, Millington, also club legends. Icons, any particular ones that stand out there? Prozanecki. Santos, that's good to see. Really, only Santos. And Vanos is a favoured personnel. That still surprises me. They've got huge debt, though, and that is a bit of a problem. Mamute is now the captain, and Robert Gray is the vice-captain. Surprising, actually. He's stripped Norman Millington of his captaincy. Disappointing. Right, guys, we're going to go another 5 years into the future and see where some of these lads are 5 years down the line. Some of them might well be retired by now, but maybe they'll have gone into management. Who knows? I've not seen any of this stuff before, so I'm really excited to see. So I'll join you guys in a sec in the year 2036. Right, guys, we're back, and of course this is now there's only 18 players left on the shortlist. I'm not entirely sure. We're gonna have to try and look for some of them in a minute because I can't remember who's missing from this, which is going to be a bit of a pain. But firstly, let's check out Mark Simpson again. 78 caps for England and now 72 goals. What a legend this lad is. It's a shame we didn't get to play more with him, really, because he looks like he turns into an absolute monster. It has to be said. He's on a huge amount of wage though. But look at these stats. He's been just a beast. Wow, he's insane. He scored 10 goals for Aberdeen, which means that he's already on 235 goals for Pompey. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to catch Big Norm, who is still at Portsmouth, it was him. Kyle Nurse is still at Man United, which is, I guess, understandable. 75 caps for England as well for the lad. He's getting a few goals here and there. He's obviously having a good time with Man United. Vanos, great to see that he's still at Portsmouth as well. That's nice to see, actually. 88 games for Holland and 59 goals. He's just been a solid performer. In fact, look at that. He's not had a single season at Portsmouth where he's got less than a 7 rating. Just an absolute wonderful performer for us. Pipoca is now at Inter. So how old is Pipoca? Let's just quickly take a little look here. Personal details. He's 29 years old. He's at Inter. Let's see how his career's panned out. So after Monaco, he went for £4 million to Clermont Foot. That's insane. Then he started banging in the goals and moved to Inter for 44 million. That's a bit more like it. His career's really not gone the way I think he would have liked. Also, I've just noticed something. Pipoca's Italian now. He was definitely Brazilian when I started this. Has he taken Italian citizenship? Wow, that was a big mistake from the Brazilians to let him do that and not giving him call-ups, because he's an amazing player for me. He was great for us and clearly turns into something quite cool, or at the moment he does anyway, so that's interesting to see as well. So that's Pipoca. Pierre Peters, of course, still at Barcelona. Chris Slade is now at Southampton. Still, actually, he's done a few good seasons for them, really. Then again, he's never really got that much of a good rating, unfortunately. Tercio's at Fiorentina. Fiorentina. Ivancic is still at Portsmouth. Look at this career. I mean, Jesus Christ. He's had some career for us. 32, over 500 appearances, and most of which were for Pompey. In fact, 510 league appearances for Portsmouth. This man, he must have had a testimonial by now, since he's been at the club like 16 years or something incredible like that. That's crazy. And what a player he is as well. That's like no mistake about it. I wish we could see his sort of overall stats. Like, he's got 49 appearances that season, so I wish we could see like his overall appearances. That's something I'd really like to put in. Like this, why does this always have to be in the league? Why can't we sort this by all, you know, or just so we can see these stats too? It's a bit of a pain. So that's Ivancic. Terzia's at Fiorentina. Verstraeten is at Stoke City. I think we've glossed over that in the past, actually. He 18.5 million. Wow, Stoke got relegated, people. Moneybag Stoke got relegated. That's crazy. I'm very, very shocked at that. They came straight back up again, it would appear, but the fact that they went down in the first place is very, very surprising. Let's put it that way. Robert Gray is still at Portsmouth at the age of 33 years old. 113 caps for England. Wow. 70 over 500 appearances. Not all quite for Portsmouth, but still, he's clearly been an absolute servant to Pompey. Mamute still at the club, which is great to see there. Wow. That 677 appearances. Admittedly, he did play a hell of a lot of games in Brazil because obviously of the long seasons and stuff. So, still, he sort of tailed off a little bit, but still putting in some really, really solid performances for Pompey over the years, playing like full seasons despite being, 35 years old or whatever he is, or is he 36 years old. Now let's look at Big Norm. This is the one we really wanted to see. 109 games for England and 78 goals. he finally did have a season where he got less than 20 league goals, and that's the only one of his career since his first matches. 434 goals for Portsmouth. That's insane. Just crazy stuff. That means it's over 400 Premier League goals for Norman Millington. You will never see that in real life. That's crazy. He must be on his way out soon, though. When does his contract expire? He's got one more year left on his contract, so hey, you never know. Mehdi Sassi is at Fulham, interestingly, now. His career he went to Juventus for £23 million and has moved to Fulham for £1 million. I suppose he's not the youngest anymore, 34 years old. Conor Barnes is at Chelsea still. After that, still at AC Milan. Peralta still at Boca Juniors. Vega is at Huddersfield. And of course, Lucarelli is now at Watford, the 33-year-old. Left Arsenal on a free transfer and plays for Watford. He's done a little bit better for Watford. Just surprised to see him fall so low, really. Not so much to Watford, but just like he just never really quite hit his heights. So let's see where Portsmouth have been finishing. They currently don't have a manager, it would seem. Mamute is captain, vice-captain is Robert Gray, and key player, of course, is Mark Simpson. We will check their trophies at the end, don't worry, guys. So where was it? We got to 31. They came first. Sorry, it's that one, isn't it? They came first again, then third, and then fifth. Oh, dear. Guys, I think they're starting to slip. The crown is slipping a little bit from them at the moment, it would seem. Let's just see who's winning the Premier League. So Forest actually won it in 2034, which is amazing. Arsenal have won it since then, which is quite cool as well. I just noticed that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was managing Fulham. That's quite cool as well. Micah Richards was at Burnley. Patrick Roberts, wait, hang on. He was managing Manchester City. That's awesome. This is the sort of thing I love. So Portsmouth this season look to have pulled it back up again, having come fifth last year. You notice that Oldham are also going to be in the Champions League next season, which is cool to see. Anyone particularly awesome that Oxford and Milton Keynes Dons are up in the Premier League, and Chelsea are relegated as well, which is very surprising too. So there we go. That's pretty freaking cool as well. Now, where's Santos gone to? I know this is a... Oh, my life. This is going to take just forever, isn't it? I mean... Let's just sort by nationality if we can. Oh my god. Is this the lad? It is. Wow, surprisingly, hasn't actually gone into management, it would seem. Won the English Footballer of the Year twice, Brazilian World Player of the Year. I'm actually surprised that he hasn't gone into management. That is surprising to me. But fair enough to him, basically. Right, so, with that in mind, we're going to skip forward to 2041, and that means that most of my shortlist should have been retired by now, so we're going to have to go through and try and remember some of the players, so do apologise, guys, if I forget anyone when I do this. It's just going to be a little bit difficult. I should maybe make a screenshot or make a note on the side, but I've kind of forgot to do that when I did this. So, let's go for it. Let's go into the future and see where we are going to be. Yeah. Right, guys, we are back, and we're just going to take a little look at some of the players that are still playing that are on the shortlist. Only one of them is actually at Portsmouth now, and that is the man Mark Simpson. He's 34 years old now, but he has seemingly played his entire career there. 127 caps for England and 104 goals. I always find the international stats were always a little bit skewed, and look at that. He's still only had one season. Oh, no, sorry, no. He's had like nearly 10 consecutive seasons of getting 20. Oh, no, he hasn't. What am I talking about? Point is, he's got a lot of league goals. 348 league goals in 554 appearances. That's a lot of appearances, Mark. Well done, son. Kyle Nurse is still at Man United at 32 years old. I wish he'd played for Portsmouth. I wish he'd stayed at Pompey. I mean, I know they made a lot of money off of him, but still, it's a surprise to see him be there. Pierre Peters is still at Barcelona, actually. So clearly he was a good signing. We just never really got to see the best out of him. If Barcelona wanted him, they must have been decent. Chris Slade's still at Southampton, but I don't think he really ever hit the heights. No, he never got more than an average of a 7 during his entire career. Dylan Verstraeten's still at Stoke City at the age of 36. He's played some okay seasons for Stoke, as you can see. Nothing too solid. He had that one good year in the Championship. He's also got over 100 caps for Belgium. That's kind of cool. Pipoca is now at Austria Vienna, which is very surprising, actually. He left on a free after playing for Inter for a few years, never really quite hitting it. I swear that said 44 million before. I feel like that said 44 million before. Am I seeing things? That's really strange. Oh, what? No. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know why that's saying that, because I sworn it said 44 million when we looked last time. The only thing I can think of is that I had a computer crash overnight when I did this the first time around, so it might have cut off the transfer. I don't know. That makes no sense. That's really, really strange. So there we go. I don't know why it's saying 55 million now. So yeah, so there we go. That's Pip Hocker. Connor Barnes, at 37 years old, is now at Huddersfield Town in the under-21s, ironically. He's played for him quite a few seasons, actually. Never really quite hit the heady heights I think that he was hoping for. So, let's quickly take a little look at Portsmouth, see where they're playing now. Okay, there you go. They are sort of straight back to where they are. Fernando Ramirez is now the captain. Let's take a look at this Fernando Ramirez fella. He's a Colombian. Looks to have unbelievable stats. Where did they get him from? He came in from Inter for 23 million a few seasons ago, actually, and looks to be a fairly decent player for the midfield. 65,000 capacity stadium as well, let's point that out. So they had a 5th place finish, then they went back up to 2nd, then 2 more 5th places, a 2nd, and now they've won the league again last season. I don't know what they're doing this year. Let's take a little gander. Looks like they've come 2nd again, this time to Manchester United. You'll note there that Oldham won the Premier League twice in a row. That's incredible. Fulham and Oxford United are relegated this season, though. That's a bit of a shame. Now, let's take a little look at, I would say manager movements, but that's not really kind of what I want. Andre Villas-Boas is still managing. He's 63 years old now. Jordan Mutchard was manager of Stoke. Incoming manager, see if there's any ridiculous... Patrick Roberts is managing Oxford United now. Right, so, there must be a way that I could look at the current managers of these teams. I don't know. Right, so let's take a little look at some of our players. So we're going to go with, firstly, King Norman. What? Maybe I have to look for Norman Millington. There he is. Big Norm. 40 years old now. He's the manager of Spurs. There you go. That's an interesting one to see. Let me just check achievements. Where did he go after Pompey? So, after Portsmouth, after he retired, he was manager of Milton Keynes Dons, and then he got sacked, and then somehow turned that into being manager of Spurs, who are a Premier League side. Yes, no? Yes, they are. They've had some poor seasons, though, and I can kind of understand. But then again, it's still impressive to see Big Norm actually managing them. I don't know why his nickname disappeared. I suppose it's because he's a manager now. So that's kind of cool to see. Let's check out Mamute. Mamute is a manager, but I don't think he's actually ever managed anyone. Has he managed anyone? Oh, he played for Hull very briefly for a little while. Let's just quickly check his career stats, see how he did for Hull. We actually played for 3 years, 8. I only made 10 appearances for them. Got a few assists, though, after a really successful career. Let's see who else we've got. Is Pocker still playing, isn't he? Let's check out Santos again. I'm fully aware that means we're going to have to do our silliness here. People, Brazilians, Santos. Oh, of course he already retired. What am I talking about? He didn't go into management, did he? I'm an idiot. Right, who else we got? Oh, we got Van Os. Gerald Van Os. He also retired as a player and didn't go into management. Spent his entire career, apart from the early part of Groningen, at Portsmouth. What about Ola Aftra? Ola Aftra? He is a manager. Not currently employed by anyone, it would seem, but he has managed. He was a player at Plymouth for a little while. He was loaned to... Oh, no, wait, that's early days. Loaned at Bochum, Groningen, AC Milan, of course. Bought by Real Oviedo. He's not actually managed a club, though, since he started his career as a manager, which is a little bit disappointing, I guess you could say. Let's check out Robert Gray. Sorry, guys, if you can hear my keyboard. I thought you guys would be interested in this kind of thing, because I kind of find this stuff fascinating once you've done a save. So let's just see. Robert Gray left Portsmouth, has never actually got into management, which is a little bit of a shame there. Who else have we got? There's... Sassy, perhaps? No, that's Messi. What am I doing? Actually, let's just check out Lionel Messi, see if he did go into management. He's the manager of Argentinos Juniors. That's interesting. Yeah, he's been played for Lazio, of course we knew that, and he's been managing them for 13 years. That's crazy. Right, who else have we got? I'm trying to think of my bloody team now. Lucarelli. Obviously, he wasn't, my team, but you know what I mean. He never retired as a player at the age of 34 after some time spent at Watford. What other players we got? We've got Bolongo, our big man on campus, or big man in goal. Bigger Bolongo. And he retired at the age of 37. He played briefly, well, not briefly, for like 3 years at Atalanta. That's interesting as well. But spent most of his time at Pompey, although there's quite a few spells at other clubs in there as well. I'm trying to think if there's any other players I'm forgetting, and it's, of course, Tony Ivancic. Can't forget about him. And he's actually a manager as well now. 38 years old. Has he managed anyone yet, though? That's the question. Not just yet. But it's good to see Millington managing Spurs. That's kind of interesting. I can't really think of anyone else to show you guys. I'm just struggling to think here. Is there anyone else in this team? There was Verstraeten. Dylan Verstraeten. He was at Stoke, of course, and he's still at Stoke, isn't he? What we're doing. Yeah, so that's pretty much wrapping that. Oh, we've got Pedro Miguel Lopez Sousa. Of course. And he retired at the age of 35. So not all of them went into management. We can safely say that. Right, so we're going to do our final step into the future. We're going to go to 2046, where everyone will be retired, and hopefully some of them will have had fledgling managerial careers. And we'll obviously look at the full stats of Portsmouth, sort of cup wins and what they've done in between them, basically. In fact, let's just take a little look at their managers since then. Manager history. So they had me, then Antonio Conte, then Joe Ledley, who was only in charge for less than a year. Then Andre Villas-Boas came in, and now Boldo Angelozzi. I assume he was a player. No? Looks like he started off as a manager at Inter in 2020. That's weird. So there we have it, guys. Conte was definitely the most successful one, that's for sure. Jesus, those stats. He actually retired, which is why Ledley took over. But Ledley did some brilliant things, I believe, with Oldham, I think it was he was managing. Ledley's clearly a very good manager. He's managing Arsenal now. I think he was manager of Oldham. Yeah, he was. When they started coming on the rise. He's managed Everton, Cardiff, then back to Oldham again. Pompey briefly. Right, let's go 5 years into the future and do our final little step through this. Right, guys, we're back, and as you can see, there is actually somehow still a player on my shortlist. Chris Slade is still playing at the age of 38 years old for York City in League 1 and League 2, but my God, that's some ambition. Has he still got a contract with them? He does. He's going to be playing next year at the age of 39 years old, so credit to him. He never quite hit the heights I was expecting of him, but hey, he did well just to get there. So let's check out some players. Let's go firstly with Mamute, as I believe he was, or did he retire? I keep forgetting these things. He did retire, what we're talking about, at the age of 39 in the end, which is actually not bad. Let's see if Van Os picked himself up a job. I am, don't worry, going to go towards Millington in a minute. Van Os, oh, and of course he didn't. He did that too. Norman Millington. See Big Norm. Who's he managing now? He's the manager of Manchester City. He can't stop achieving things, can he, this guy? Jesus. So he managed Spurs for a bit and eventually left them to join Milton Keynes, and eventually left them to join Liverpool. Got sacked as the manager of Liverpool. We'll check his awards in a sec. Left as manager of Ipswich, and wow. So any awards? Any awards at all? No, it would seem not. But still, that is quite an achievement just to actually be managing Manchester City now. See if he's actually won anything. Cup wins, no cup wins, unfortunately. He's got promoted twice, but also relegated twice, so he's perhaps not the best manager, but he's managing City, so he can't be that bad, can he? Right, who else we got? We've got Aftre. Did he retire? I forgot. I don't think he did he? He's a manager. Let's see if he's actually managed anyone. No, he hasn't managed anybody his entire career. Robert Gray, did he go into management? I think he did. Oh, he didn't. Surprising. Sorry, guys, I'm struggling to remember any bloody players now. Who else have we got? Lucarelli. No, he retired as well, didn't he? I'm trying to think of players that actually went into management from our, but most of them didn't, it would seem. Santos certainly didn't, which is a bit of a shame, really. Let's just take a look at Portsmouth now. So where are they now? They've managed to sort of... And Benjamin Leverington is now the manager at Portsmouth, 47-year-old. Has he actually got a playing history? He does. Wow. Played for Spurs briefly. I think he's not quite. I think he was a regen from the very first season. Went to Stevenage, Halifax, Notts County, Gloucester City, Bury, and now manages Portsmouth. Fernando Ramirez is still there. A guy called Russell Myrna. Also looks like an incredibly good player. Did he come through the academy? That'd be awesome. He did come through the academy. That's nice to see. So there we have it. Let's just quickly take a little look at the Premier League over the last couple of seasons. So Pompey did win it back, but yeah, after Oldham they did win it. Then Man United, Portsmouth, Liverpool won it finally. Man United, and 2 more wins for Oldham, which is, got to say, is impressive. Most impressive thing for me is that Portsmouth have actually managed to maintain themselves up there. You'll see that Plymouth are also in the top flight. It's just interesting to see. The league has slipped a little bit in terms of that, though. See if there's any interesting people managing the teams, basically. That's kind of what I'm curious here about at the moment. Sorry if this has got a little bit messy. When you go to this far into the future, it's difficult to keep track of who's who and who you really want to be looking at, unfortunately. Let's check out Jed Wallace while we're here. See if he went into management or something after his... Stop it. He went into management after his career. No, he retired at the age of 35. What about Kieran Griffiths? You know, we want to see these guys. If I can just remember how to spell his name. That isn't how you spell his name, is it? Is it like that? Kieran Griffiths. He retired at the age of 36. Wow, he actually had quite a long career history after that. I don't know if we can actually see it. No, we can't. So, after leaving Pompey, he went to FC Dallas and was actually there for 6 years before rejoining and joining Oldham, surprisingly, making 15 appearances and scoring 2 goals. Then went out on loan to Wolves, went on loan to Watford, back to Oldham, and finally out on loan to Swansea City. He never quite hit the heights you would expect, but then 89 appearances and 11 goals for Wales is certainly nothing to be sniffed at. Let's put it that way, guys. So, I think that kind of brings us to the end of our little... Oh, no, wait, we're going to take a little look at some of the other European leagues briefly on just on the end. Sorry, this episode's got quite long in the end, guys. It will be cut down a little bit in editing, but you know how it is. That's the wrong button, isn't it? Right, here we go. Valencia. Wow, there's been some shake-ups in Spain, that's for sure. Valencia are up there. Alcorcon are up there too. That's interesting. Let's see, Scotland. Has anyone else managed to strangle the Scottish Premier League away from the big teams? Yes, and then some. My life. Falkirk have won the league 4 times in the last 6 seasons, and look like they're about to make it. Oh no, they have already waited. So there you go. Rangers and Celtic are still right in there, but not as much as you would have thought. So that's kind of cool to see. Just something a little bit different has taken over there in Scotland. Let's see if anyone's broken the mould in Portugal while we're here. Porto, Benfica, Academica. So Sporting have slipped a little bit, but you notice that Porto have won the league now consistently, just constantly for the last God knows how long it would seem, which is not entirely surprising. Italy, let's see if anyone's shaken things up in Serie A. Probably just Juve domination. It's still Juve domination, although there was a win there for Fiorentina. Foggia are up in the top flight there. There's quite a few switches around here. I'm trying to see if there's anyone notably missing from it. That's what I'm more interested in here. The Russian League, let's see. Let's go to Holland quickly. See if there are any surprise winners of the Dutch League. Oh, of course, I had to turn that off, didn't I? Because when I did this, I turned some of the other leagues off to make it a little bit more, make the simulation run a bit quicker. And I must have turned France off too, which is surprising. I don't remember doing that. I can't have turned Germany off. Oh, right, of course not. Right, there we go. Wolfsburg have won it a few times as well, though, so that's good to see. But mostly Bayern still. And I think that pretty much is the lot. Yeah, that's basically the lot. So, basically, guys, massive thank you to everyone who's watched my Rebuilding Portsmouth series. I'm sorry that some of the episodes got a little bit long at times. With my new series, I'm going to try and keep things much more short and snappy, but still packing in the content, because I really do enjoy making these episodes for you, and hopefully that will be a success as well. So yeah, all I can really say is thank you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys, perhaps tomorrow we'll do an episode where I'll just talk a little bit more about the new series, probably, rather than actually starting it immediately. And then after that, you'll get a couple of days where we've got some Red Star doubled up, just to give me a chance to actually start making some of the new stuff. So yeah, just bear with me for a few days while I sort that stuff out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.